Hello, welcome back. Today I'd like to talk about making a main program and an order. But because of its size and the length of videos, I'm going to have to break this up into different segments. So right now we're going to talk about first making a main program, and then we'll break out and do something different in the next video. So to make a main program, we're always going to start with the input dropdown. Up at the top of the screen, if I click on number 2, input, I can come down to main programs. Now we're assuming that everything has already been created. Our tools are set up, our component parts and combined parts, everything is set up, and all we have to do is land them on a panel. All right, so I click on main programs. I don't have anything in my database right now, so I'm going to create something new. So to create something new, I'm going to come down to the input field down at the bottom. Click on input, and I'm going to give it a name. In this case, I'm going to call it training test. All right, click enter. This gives us a generic screen and basic default values. I can key in my height and width, whatever my panel might be, and my thickness as well. Or I can also select a raw panel that's already created. That's what we're going to do today. So I'm going to double click on raw panel, and we're going to make a VX25 8265.000 door. It's going to be a right-hand door. So I double click. I got a large list. I don't want to search through this list to find this. So I'm going to do an F3 filter down at the bottom. And I'm going to key in RIT for Rital dot VX dot 8265. And it shows me all of the panels that are available. I'm going to double click on DR, the .dr, which is a door right. And sure enough, that's what I want to make. So I'm going to double click on it. Now it populates my graphic. All I have to do now is add things at the bottom. So I click on the drop down at the bottom. I have an SP, single processing. That is a drill or a tap. I have CP, component part. That would be something like a transformer or something that's just going to take drilling or tapping, but it's going to show you the footprint. A CB is a combined part. That would be similar to a component part, giving you the footprint and drilling and tapping, but it also adds in milling. A variable component part would be used for DIN rail or wire trays. A CO or contour is a predefined contour. It's already set up, or you can set up new ones. I typically don't use this much anymore because I like the commands CI, circle cutout, and RE, rectangular cutout. These are a little more flexible. You can change them on the fly. It's a lot more flexible, and it doesn't use up space in your database. At the very bottom, you've got LH, or elongated hole. That would be for like a slot, something that you would like to create a long, thin milling cutout. So let's start with a single process of a drill, and we'll land it on the panel. So I clicked on SP, single process. I'm going to double click on the 3.3 millimeter drill. And then all I have to do is land it somewhere. I can land it with my XY coordinates. I'm going to put this one at 100 and 100. And if I look on my graphic, I can barely see it down in the bottom left-hand corner of my door. If I want to see it better, I can click and hold the right mouse button and drag across that area. And I can see better that I've got a green circle indicating a drilled hole. All right. So now if I click on the left-hand side of the screen again, it'll make my graphic full size again, and I can select line item number 2 and do something different. I am going to do another single process, and I'm going to do a tap. Let's do a 5 millimeter tap. Double clicked on it, and I can just land it in my X and Y coordinates. So I'm going to use X 100 again, but I'm going to put it at Y 150. Now, if we zoom in, we can see that we have a drilled hole and a cyan tapped hole. All right, let's go down to the next line item and let's put in a component part. In this case, I'm going to use something I've already created before, which is a transformer. Very simple. And I'm going to land this one at, let's say 150 and 200. Nope. Yep. Let's change that. If we find out we don't like where it's at, I can do a right click on that line item and I can shift it. Do a shift, and I'm going to change it in the X by let's change it by another 50 millimeters, just to move it a little bit further to the right. So you can shift things around as needed. All right, next line item. Let's do a combined part. Now I've got an HMI that I've already created. It's at the top of the list here. I'm going to double click on that. And I am going to land that using a mathematical equation. So I'm going to use B for the width. If you look at the graphic on the right side, at the very top of the screen, you see B equals 592. That is the width of the panel. So I am going to put B divided by 2. That's going to land it right straight in the middle of the panel. And then in my Y, I'm going to put in H minus 400. So that's from the very top of the panel, move it down 400 millimeters. And there we go. All right, so now we have something landed on the panel. Let's put in some, let's put in an RE, a rectangular cutout. Let's say we have a rectangular cutout right in the center of the panel, using the tool number 19. And I'm going to put it at B divided by 2 again. And I am going to put it at H divided by 2. So this is going to put it in the X direction in the middle and in the Y direction in the middle. But now I've got to give it a size. I'm going to say it's a 100 by 100 in the contour height and contour width. And there we have a 100 by 100 cutout right in the center of the door. We can do the same thing with a CI. Let's do a CI circular cutout using tool number 19. Double click on it, and I'm going to make a 22.5 millimeter hole. In the contour diameter, I type in 22.5. Now I just have to give it my XY coordinate. Let's give it, I don't know, let's just make up some numbers. Let's put it 500 in the Y, but let's put it B divided by 2 in the X. The reason why I did that is I want to show you a row function. To make a number of 22.5 millimeter holes in really nice defined areas, right click on that, on the CI that we've created, and do row function. Now I could put, at a distance, I could put 2 to the right at 50 millimeters. And then I could select my first line item again, the one I created, line item number 6. I can right click that again and do another row function and do 2 more to the left at 50 millimeters. And there we have a line of 22.5 millimeter holes. I hope this helps. I'm going to go ahead and say okay and save this. And we're going to call it an end to this video, and I'm going to create another one to tell us how to put it into an order. Thanks for watching.